And welcome to tonight's meeting. Looks like we have several people listening in. Today is September the 15th. It is Tuesday. The time is now 6 p.m. of 2020. Go-to meeting of the City of Trinidad City Council will now come to order. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This conference will now be recorded.
Like I mentioned, anybody that is listening in tonight, if you want to be recognized, during the part of the petitions or communication section, oral or written, if you want to raise your hand or speak up, and we will recognize you, and you will have 5 minutes to state your questions or opinions. So with that, could we have a roll call?
Bono?
Here.
Little?
Here.
Griego?
Here.
Ogletree? Here. Sue?
Here.
Williamson?
Here.
Rico?
Here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because it seems like it's kind of acting up on my side. I'm not sure what's going on. Approval of the agenda. Does council have any changes they would like to make to the agenda? If not, have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Call a vote, please.
Bono?
Yes.
Little?
Yes.
Griego?
Yes.
Ogletree?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Williamson?
Yes.
Rico?
Yes. Item 3, policy items and staff reports. Mr. Valentine, do you have anything to report, you or staff?
Nothing at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. On to item 4, petitions or communications. Got a couple of things here. Actually, just one. We received a letter from Trinidad Lanes, and of course they addressed it to Wally, which is fine. It says, "Dear Wally and City of Trinidad Office of Economic Development, as small business owners here in Trinidad, we applied in April for the utility rental assistance for the city's Office of Economic Development for COVID-19 relief. We also applied for assistance regarding our personal utilities. Our business was ordered to close on March 17th due to this pandemic and the stay-at-home order. We were able to reopen our business in July at a limited occupancy, as you know, with strict COVID-19 restrictions that will be in use for some time yet. As you will understand, this has severely affected our business. We thank you for not only approving our applications, but for all the utility credits and financial assistance we received from your office during this most difficult time. Had the support from you and your office had not been available to us, we could have possibly lost our business. Again, we thank you for all the support we've received, as it made such a difference for us personally and for our business. We still have a long way to go in getting through this crisis, but with help and commitment to us and our business but your help and commitment to us and our business is certainly appreciated. Sincerely, Matt Salbato and Kim Salbato, who are the proprietors of Trinidad Lanes LLC." Okay, I guess we don't have anybody requesting to be heard tonight. On to item 5, which is the consent agenda. Approval of the regular meeting minutes of September the 1st, 2020. Item B, adoption of resolution supporting the placement of Hans Droog metallic horse public art sculpture within Colorado Department of Transportation Utilities. Item C, approval of the bills for $3,603,666.83. Item D, approval of payroll September the 5th, 2020 through September the 18th, 2020, and September 19th, 2020 through October 2nd, 2020, in the amount of $379,757.33. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
So moved.
Okay, second. We have a first and a second there. Call vote, please.
Bono,
Yes.
Goodall,
Yes.
Grego,
Yes.
Ogletree,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Rico.
Yes. Item 6, public hearings, we have none. Item 7, unfinished business, we have none. Item 8, miscellaneous business. 8A, consideration of 2021 property casualty and workers' compensation renewal quotes received from CIRSA in the amount of $773,937.09. Could I have a motion, please?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Do we have a first and a second there? Discussion, Audra, could you go over that please with us?
Sure. The city of Trinidad received the 2021 quote from CIRSA. We've been a member of CIRSA for about 30 years, and CIRSA is a pool that's made up of governmental entities, and so we feel like CIRSA represented us in all entities very well. The net annual increase between both property casualty and work comp for 2021 is $18,454, as compared to the last couple of years where we've seen $70,000 increases. I would propose that, or with the council communication, I identified the expenditure required at $773,937.09. That is using our 2020 loss control audit credits for both the work comp and property casualty. Property casualty is in the amount of $7,278. Work comp is in the amount of $15,898. Those loss control audit credits are credits that are offered to members that take an active role in preventing or reducing losses by complying with the CIRSA loss control standards. As you know, the city hired a safety coordinator, safety manager, and I think we're seeing the benefits of that based on our net annual increase as we look at it comparatively over the last 4 years. And so it's the city's recommendation that we renew with CIRSA, accept the renewal quote. And I will add one other comment. Councilmember Triego looked at the details of our renewal quote and noticed that we had opted out of the uninsured, underinsured motorist insurance, and recommended that we look at what the cost would be to opt in. And CIRSA advises there's no cost to opt in. Their coverage still is only $50,000, but it's still something as opposed to nothing with respect to that coverage. So we will be opting in, and that's just basically letting them know in writing that that's our election for 2021. Does council have any other questions?
I just wanted to say good catch, Karen, thank you. Starting with Mr. DeBono, any questions?
No, Mr. Mayor, not at this time, sir.
Mr. Goodall?
I have nothing.
Ms. Ogletree?
I just want to say thank you to Karen, because that was something that I noticed as well and was concerned about, so thank you. Good catch, Karen, and good job, Audra.
Okay. Mr. Shu?
No, nothing at this time, thank you.
Ms. Grego, anything additional?
all donations can be sent to the Karen Brago GoFundMe page. I mean, you know, even if it, I mean, to leave it, I just say good job, staff, because for these increases is amazing, because usually, like, on our personal policies, 10% is the norm, so to have a 3% or a 2.5% increase over the last couple of years is phenomenal. So
Yeah.
thank you, staff.
Okay. Mr. Williamson?
I've got nothing.
Okay.
Councilwoman Gregg was always a hard act to follow.
Okay. Ms. Grego, I'll send you my penny, okay, if anybody else wants to pitch in a penny, you know, donate to them.
You really know how to hurt a person, don't you? I thought I was at least worth a buck.
Oh, okay, we can increase that. You know, I really was impressed with the small increase that was there, and goes to show that staff is doing a lot of things right, evidently. So that's great to see. Something, Audra, I don't know that I looked, I couldn't find it. The loss control audit score. Do you know what our audit score is?
You know, off the top of my head, I don't know
Okay.
what the audit score is. I think that same question came up last year, and I didn't remember what our score was. Hang on, I have
Yeah. But you know, anyway, it talks about it, and I just was wondering. I think I was the same when I brought it. I think I brought it up last year too. So,
So
but
we had a work comp audit score of 97 and property casualty of 97 as well.
okay, good. Alrighty. I have no questions unless council has any further questions. If not, let's call the vote.
Devono,
Yes.
Goodall,
Yes.
Drago,
Yes.
Ogletree,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Rico.
Yes. On to item 9, council reports. Starting with Mr. DeBono. Do you have anything to report, Mr. DeBono?
Not this week, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Goodall?
I have nothing, sir.
Okay. Ms. Ogletree?
I just wanted to note a couple things. First of all, the thank you note from the Salvados was wonderful. That was really a good thing to see. And I had a chance to go bowling there recently, and it was perfectly safe and fun. So I'm going to keep doing that. I bought a bowling ball and everything. Tomorrow, I go to the Oversight Board for Space to Create Commons, and they're still working on the business plan for the Commons area and the business development plan for the business, the businesses that will locate there. So they're working hard on that, and that's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Shu?
No, I don't have anything at all.
Okay. Ms. Grego?
You better ante up that penny, because I got something, you guys. It's so interesting.
Okay.
You're going to be sitting on the edge of your seats. Just coincidentally, I had my meeting with the Fisher's Peak work group, and our group is involved in engagement and communications. And when we have these meetings, there's about 25 professionals. I'm the only one that's not a professional in this type of work, but it was very interesting. They're up. The website is up, but it's not accessible yet. What I thought was really nice is the webmaster who works for THK was talking on our conference call today, and he is putting in, you can just hit a button and it goes from English to Spanish on the website. I thought that was awesome. Some of the pictures they have on that website they're phenomenal. They always ask me my input as to what's going on in Trinidad, and I told them all that the excitement is just overwhelming. And the young lady who is the ranger in charge of Fisher's Peak, Her name is Crystal Drelling, and she said the response that they have gotten from volunteers to do those initial trails, or she thought she could get maybe 5 to 6 people. She said it's triple and triple that, so we know that the community is really excited about this. One of the gentlemen that's in charge of PR for the Parks and Wildlife Division mentioned that he tweeted something about Fisher's Peak about a month ago, and that tweet got 25,000 retweets or responses, and that was the champion tweet of all the CPW tweets for I don't know how long, but he was, I mean, these people are overwhelmed with what's going on down here and the response from people, so that's wonderful. Crystal also mentioned something about the opening. She didn't call it a soft opening, she called it a sneak peek. And she's very in tune. Her main goal is to conserve and preserve the land. She's afraid that if we don't do it right, that there's going to be more damage to Fisher's Peak than there is good. So there are going to be 2 small trails, and I'm sure that's what the volunteers are being asked for. One is a 1.5 mile trail that goes to a picnic area, and there's just a small trail. I think she said it's like 1/4 mile. They have an ADA trail that they're going to include also, and they're going to start with the parking lot, and I know they've done the vaulted restrooms already because they posted pictures of it, so we're moving right along. She mentioned something about she's going to ask for donations or maybe swag, or maybe an organization can pay for lunches for the volunteers that are working up at the park. So I was wondering if we could get a hold of Crystal and tell her that maybe city council could appropriate a small amount of money for lunch for the volunteers for one day. I don't think it would be very expensive.
Okay.
Just throw it out there to see if council would be agreeable.
Okay. Anything else?
But that's it.
Okay. Mr. Williamson?
No, sir.
I've got nothing at this time.
Okay. Just to kind of tap on to what Ms. Grego was talking about, you know, we also have the Trinidad Working Group, and that's one group that they haven't pulled together, but I did talk to, and this is for your information, Mr. Goodall, I talked to Melissa, I think it was last Thursday or Friday, and they're going to try pulling together our group to begin that discussion, the Trinidad Working Group, by the end of the month or the 1st of October. She is supposed to get some information out to everyone that's involved in that group shortly, so I'll stay on top of her to make sure that she gets that information out to all of us, because there are several people that are going to be involved locally here in that group. Just to for public's opinion here, you know, we just to say that we did receive a petition from probably close to 100 people about the hospitality cannabis rooms to opt out, just to let the public know, and we'll be discussing that probably at some point here in the near future. Also last meeting, talked to you about a meeting with Luis about that TSJC letter. We did have that meeting, and I'll be in touch with all of council here shortly as to what the outcome was by email. Today I met, and this is going to take not a long, but I've got a lot of information on this. We all know that upcoming in the next year is going to be the redistricting across the state of Colorado. And I met today with a lady by the name of Michelle Gardner, and she is with the Colorado Neighborhood Coalition group, and just to bring information to the local areas, to our local area and several others. let them know what's all about. And I just want to let council know some of the discussion that I had with her. And what that is they are going to, they're requesting people to put in their applications, and those applications need to be in by November, I think November sometime. It's good. November the 1st is going to be the close of the applications. And what they're going to do is they're going to pick out, I think she said 4, 4, and 4. 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans, and 4 unaffiliated. Cannot be an elected official. They need to be registered. They need to have voted in the 16 and 18 election cycles. They also need to have been affiliated with one of their affiliation for 5 years. So it's somebody that cannot change from one group to another in just a last year or two. What they're going to do is they're going to, in March sometime, they're going to select that committee at that time. And then that committee will put together some maps for the state of Colorado, and they will be distributing those maps for public input at that time. They will be approving the maps, I think she said, in November the 15th of 2021. So there's going to be some time for public input on this, because we know that it's going to be a very probably a contentious time for these 12 people that are going to be working on this, for this redistricting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some information, and I'll post it here at City Hall, maybe at this, probably give something to the county commissioners to post at the, up there, as well as give some information to the Chronicle News, just to let everybody know too that they will be paying these people $200 a day for their meeting time, as well as if you have to travel, they're going to pay you per diem for travel for those people who have to travel distances. So this is something that's upcoming, and she actually recommended, and I'll ask council now, she is willing to do maybe our next work session, if you would like her to do a presentation to us, an overall presentation. Is that something that maybe you guys would like to have her present to council? Starting with Mr. DeBona, would you like to hear from her?
Yes, in fact, I interviewed her on the radio a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, Mr. Goodall, would you like to hear from her?
Sure.
Okay, Ms. Ogletree.
Yes, and can the applicants come from the county as well, not just the city?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're expecting to get, several from across the state of Colorado. They're expecting 4,000 or 5,000 people to apply. Then they're going to narrow it down, and then they're going to narrow it down some more. And there's some stuff that she mentioned that I was not in agreement with, but it is what it is, I guess. And that was, I asked her if this legislature was involved, and she said that the legislature is going to put in, I guess each side is going to put in like 10 applications of people that they know. So, but it's kind of, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it would be fascinating to hear from her.
Yeah, it's okay. Mr. Shu?
Yes, that's fine.
Ms. Grego?
You bet.
Okay, Mr. Williamson?
Yes.
Okay, I will call her, and we'll take a look and see what our next work session is like, and see if she can do a presentation on our Zoom so that she can be prepared. I think that's all I had. Mr. Valentine, what do you have?
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Got a few things. Staff has been pretty busy here the last couple of weeks. Just to let you know, we'll be presenting the preliminary proposed budget to you first meeting in October as required by charter. That being said, we've been in union negotiations, this is an opener year where every 3 years we open the contracts up. So there's been a lot of negotiations and back and forth, and I will be probably having an executive session with council so they can instruct the negotiator once we have that. A while back I sent out the legislative report update from Debbie Wagner. I spoke with her today. She was wondering if there were any questions, concerns, any more information needed. She would like to, she generally gives a report every year. COVID kind of got in the middle of all of us, and she may, if council has any questions that they would like to, have answered, please get them to me, and we can get them to her. But it's possible that she may be on a work session here shortly just to go over that report. Excuse me a minute, I'm looking at the calendar. September 21st, work session. I'd like to add a special meeting. We are in the process of working with all the Fishers Peak partners and the county to go forward with a grant for Fishers Peak planning. It would be planning for not the park and that itself, but for the economic impacts and infrastructure impacts that would happen for the city and county. So it would be a joint effort. The city would probably be the lead on that, so there will be a resolution required. And the match money, we've already set aside $50,000. The partners and the county are coming forward, so we'll see how that fleshes out in the next couple of weeks in our application, but I wanted to let council know that that's coming. I'm thinking that September 28th is when we bring the work session forward with hospitality clubs to get council's direction for staff after, the forums, the petitions, everything, to see how staff would move forward there on the 28th. And finally, we had a request for support for a letter of support to go before the Oil and Gas Commission for rulemaking on Rule 900, I believe. I will have more information. They've extended the deadline for that, so I will have good information for City Council for the October 6th meeting regarding the letter of support and how we move forward with that. But that's all I have, Mayor and Council, unless there are questions.
The only thing I wanted to say is, Karen, you mentioned if we could expend a little bit of money, and that, that's up to Mike. It's just a small dollar amount. So, Mike, if you want to do something, I'd say just do it. Ms. Ogletree, did you have any questions for Mike?
I did. So you're proposing 2 work sessions, one on the 21st and one on the 28th. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And is the one on the 21st going to be when we hear from the woman with the redistricting?
Yeah, the redistricting. Yeah, I'll give her a call tomorrow and have her schedule that in. Okay.
Okay. And then the last question I had is with regard to the hospitality topic. What will we be discussing that evening?
We'll probably be just discussing. We've had a lengthy discussion already. And I think we'll just probably be discussing some of the information that we heard that night during the forum, as well as discussing and bringing forward the petition that we received in the last few days, so that and then we'll probably decide again on a consensus if that's to move forward or not.
Are there going to be other people presenting at that hearing or whatever at the work session?
Probably not, because I said, I think we've already heard from the public, we've asked for their input already, and I don't, unless Mr. Downs has, says otherwise, I think it would be just pretty much a discussion amongst council at that point. Okay.
And Mayor, if I could please, I agree with you. I mean, my initial inclination is to say that you have solicited public comment, you have heard from a lot of people, and I think it would be appropriate at this point to simply have a discussion amongst council again, and as you said, give us direction, give staff direction with respect to where you guys may be headed, and if they're, where a majority of you are leaning on this issue.
Okay.
But I agree with everything you said there.
Mr. Goodall, do you have a question?
Mike, did you say on the 21st we were gonna have a work session and possibly a special meeting?
Yes.
That special meeting would be to pass a resolution for the application for a DOLA grant.
And
That's all I had.
Mr. Downs, do you have anything else?
Mayor, Council, thank you. The only thing I want to say is please be checking your email, because the subject that I've been emailing you about that is confidential, the letter that we have been expecting, we have received, and I'll be sending that to you as soon as this meeting concludes. So that letter is it. But that's the only thing I have, unless any of you have any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Downs?
Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have problems on our last work session because we did a consensus vote on the hospitality clubs. So is it legal for us to have not only another consensus vote on the hospitality clubs on the 28th, but also to pass a resolution on the 21st? Or is that going to be delayed to a regular council meeting?
If I understand Mr. Valentine's intent correctly, the special meeting would be to take a vote on the resolution. Is that correct? That is,
yes.
It would be a one-item special meeting where you would be taking action, and ergo the special meeting. I see Mr. Valentine nodding his head. You're muted, Mr. Oh, there you go. I'm sorry. So okay, so that's why. And to your other question, yes, absolutely. There is nothing wrong with, you guys are not taking a vote. You're not making a decision. You're simply stating what your preference. This is about the consensus position with respect to going forward. You can say what you are, for lack of a better term, what you are feeling now on the issue. So that, let's say 7 of you said we do not want to go forward on this. I know that's not the case, but 7 of you said we do not want to go forward. Then there would be no point in going forward. But even if it's 5-2, 4-3, however that may go, to get a sense for where a majority of you are wanting to go is not it's not a vote, it's not a binding decision at all. It's simply like a preference poll with respect to where you stand on the issue.
May I add something? I think the intent should come from the work session on the 28th, so that it's plain for everyone. Is you've discussed details of what should be in an ordinance, if it should pass, and then you can actually take it forward if you want to on October the 6th and have a formal vote on it. But if you at least decide on details if it should pass, I think that's what really we need the work session for.
That's a very good point, if I may jump on that. And that is, like, if you were wanting to go forward, the number of facilities that you would allow, and whether they would be consumption facilities only or consumption with sales. It's a good point. If a majority of you are headed in that direction, and there are other issues too that we will emphasize but it's a good point, so we know kind of a little more, with more specificity, where you may be headed, if you're headed towards allowing.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? I call for adjournment. Motion, please.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Okay, call the vote, please.
Shawna?
Yes.
Goodall?
Aye.
Riego?
Yes.
Ogletree?
Yes.
Hugh?
Yes.
Williamson?
Yes.
Rico?
Yes. Thank everyone for listening in, and then thank you to all of council and staff, and we'll see you, I guess, in the next week.
Buenos
Good
noches.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.